Now, when you first start, if you're an adult now, you may be in such bad shape financially that you couldn't do the 70, 10, 10, and 10. If you're in real bad shape, you may have to do the 97, 1, 1, and 1. Because it may take this to pay your bills if you haven't had a good plan up until now. But jot this down now. It's not the amount that counts, it's the plan that counts. So let's say you were in such poor financial shape, you had to start 97, 1 for charity, 1%, another 1% for active capital, another 1% for passive. Now here's the key. To get these numbers starting up and get this number starting down. If you will actually do this, you can't believe how exciting it is to watch the numbers change. Remember what Shoaff said. If you will change what? Everything will change for you. If you start to change, I'm telling you, these numbers will start to change. And the first thing you know, these numbers keep going up, 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 until finally you can get to the 70, 10, 10, and 10. Now, when you make a lot of money, these numbers all have to change again. You know, if you're making fortunes, you can't spend 70%. That would be obscene. I probably spend less than 10% of my income. So this number, this is where I had to start, 97, 1, 1, and 1, finally getting to 70, 10, 10, and 10. But now as time has passed for me and my fortunes have increased, this 70 has gone way down to 10. And now you can imagine, if the 70 has gone clear down to 10, you can imagine now what these numbers will be. These numbers now, off the scale. Here's what it is, a good plan to consider. So make this note, it's your life and it's your future and it's your economics. This is just a suggested plan. You can tear this one up and develop one of your own. I'm just here to stir the pot. I'm here to stir your mind, to get you to think. Okay. Now here's 2 or 3 more keys on financial independence. Here's number 1, keep strict accounts. Part of it is just for habit, and the other part is for self-esteem, and the other part is for future benefit. Keep strict accounts. It's just a good habit to have. It's like picking up the trash, not throwing the toothpick cellophane on the floor. It's just, it becomes the person you are. Keep good accounts. Here's the next one, pay your taxes. I finally became a happy taxpayer. Here's what paying taxes does. Feeds the goose that lays the golden eggs called American opportunity. You say, well, the goose eats too much. Probably true. But make the note, better a fat goose than no goose. Here's the next key. Everybody should pay. My personal philosophy is everybody should pay federal taxes as well as state or whatever else. It's not wise for the government to let 1/3 of American citizens off the federal tax rolls. Why? Because that robs them. Appreciate that. Looks like I could run for office here. Here's what it does. If you let them off the federal tax rolls, it robs them of the dignity. They have to pay state taxes. They have to pay sales tax. I've been trying to write this book for so long called, Of Course Kids Should Pay Taxes. When a kid in California walks into 7-Eleven and buys something that costs $1, the proprietor asks the kid for 8 more pennies. Kid says, what's these 8 pennies? He says, that's the taxes. The kid says, I'm only 8 years old. And the proprietor says, congratulations, you're my youngest taxpayer. Give me the money. Should kids pay taxes? Yes. If you want to ride your bicycle on the sidewalk instead of in the mud, you got to cough up the 8 pennies. What if you're poor? Do you pay the 8 pennies? Yes. What if you're rich? Yes. Meaning everybody should pay. The same should apply to federal. I don't care if it's $10 a year. I don't care if it's only $100 a year. As poor as you might be, you've got to say, no matter how poor I am at the moment, I will make my contribution. That's the key. So everybody should pay. How much do you think aircraft carriers cost? We pay our taxes so a policeman will walk the beat so we can sleep like a baby. Hey, the Air Force doesn't sleep. The Army doesn't sleep 24 hours, so you can sleep as much time as required. Peace of mind. The missiles are ready and the aircraft carriers are there. Saddam Hussein sticks up his head again, it gets blown off. We've now got him in a no-fly zone. No-fly zone on top, no-fly zone on the bottom. Right? We couldn't go after him, couldn't kill him because that wasn't the policy. But we've now got him in a very small corner where tyranny needs to be. Because when it is let loose, it could do like communism and Nazism, cover 1/3 of the world before we get it stopped. So, you got that down now? I got to pay for my aircraft carrier. I got to pay some young volunteer that risks his life on night landings on an aircraft carrier. You got to pay if you want that kind of security in the world. Of course, we may disagree sometimes with government policy and all the rest, but I'm telling you, everybody needs to pay. Now, here's one of the best stories ever written. According to the record, Jesus and his disciples one day were at the synagogue, and on this occasion they had an interesting project, and that was to stand outside the synagogue as people started coming in, putting money in the treasury of the synagogue. And as Jesus and his disciples stood outside watching the people come by, putting their money in the treasury, it said, some came with large amounts, put them in the treasury. It said some came by with modest amounts. Some came by with small amounts. Then along comes a little lady, and she puts 2 pennies in the treasury. And Jesus said to his disciples, look at that. They said, 2 pennies? What's 2 pennies? He says, no, you don't understand. She gave more than everybody else. They said, 2 pennies is more than everybody else? He said, yes. Because I'm positive her 2 pennies represented most of what she had. So since she gave most of what she had, she gave the most. Now here's what did not occur in the story. I'm so brilliant, I can give you what the author left out. Here's what did not occur. When the little lady put her 2 pennies in the treasury and walked away, here's what didn't occur. Jesus didn't run after this little lady and said, hold it, little lady. My disciples and I have decided that you're so pitiful and you're so poor. We have decided to take the 2 pennies out of the treasury and give them back to you. I'm telling you, that did not occur. If it would have occurred, she would have been what? Insulted. Hey, it was only 2 pennies, but it was most of what I had. Would you rob me of the joy of giving my 2 pennies? So that scene did not occur. So jot this down. Jesus left her 2 pennies in the treasury, even though she was poor. What does that mean? Everybody needs to pay, even if it's only 2 pennies. Wow. Great story.